All right, welcome back. We're in the home stretch here. Now we're going to dive into what's known as the Common Core State Standards content standards. So we've looked at the standards of mathematical practice, which are habits of mind, and now we're going to take a deep dive into the Common Core State Standards content standards. So let me give you a little tour of what they look like. All right. So you're invited to look through the lens of sense-making spaces as you engage with the Common Core State Standards -M, or for mathematics standards. So there's a lot of things to digest. So as we look here, we see that there's a table, and you can see that the K standards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then there are higher math functions. So the way the standards are designed, they are connected, and there are certain strands of mathematics that pervade all grade levels, K to 5 or 6 to 8. For example, operations and algebraic thinking goes K to 5, and expressions and equations goes 6 to 8. And that is all preparation for algebra. Number and operations base 10, huge fundamental concepts in grades K through 5. And you see that number and operations with relation to fractions and fraction notation starts in grade 3, but we do a lot of the groundwork, TK to 2, in the conceptual understanding. So you see also we have measurement and data, statistics and probability. So there was a lot of thought in developing the standards, in how the standards were connected and moved grade to grade. And the big idea is that rather than having a checklist of skills, we would layer learning upon another learning and help students make connections. So this is a really overwhelming chart, but it helps you see the progression of how students move from kindergarten to grade 8, thinking about the number sequence and then working with radicals and integer exponents. So there was definitely a thought about what students needed to know when, and what made sense on how to parse out the topics so that it wasn't too overwhelming at any grade level, but also created space for deep understanding. So this is a really interesting chart. It's in the standards as well for you to look at. So we're not going to spend too much time here. As you read the standards, you want to know that standards define what students should understand and be able to do, which are, this is a standard, number 1, 2, and 3. The clusters summarize the groups of related standards. So you can see that there might be 3 standards that are similar to each other. And the domains are large groups of related standards. So for example, in the domain of number and operations in base 10 for 3rd grade, we have the abbreviation 3.NBT. So when I ask you in your lesson plan for the actual name of the standard or the domain and the abbreviation, you would say 3NBT1 or 3NBT2 or 3NBT3, and know that that was number and operations in base 10, specifically using place value understanding to round whole numbers to the nearest 10 or 100, right? So you see there are 3 standards in this domain, and they are organized in a cluster. Okay, so if you go into the actual content document, what's seen here is there could be other standards under number and operations in base 10 for 3rd grade, but they're organized in a different cluster. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do is, you're not going to go into breakout rooms, but what you're actually going to do is you're going to go into the standards document, and you're going to pick now. What grade is your dream grade to read about? So let's say your favorite grade or your most targeted grade that you want to read about is grade 2. So you're going to scroll through the document, you're going to find grade 2. You're going to read the overview. Then you're going to read another overview page. So this is more of a bulleted list. Then you're going to read the actual standards themselves. So you see that the domains and clusters as well as the standards are listed. And also, it's not that much. It's about 5 pages. As you go up in grades, it might get a little bit longer. So go ahead and read the particular grade that you want. If you have time, read the grade below and the grade above, because it's always very important to know where your kids have come from and to know where they're going. Once you've done that, you're going to drop into the Jamboard, and you are going to complete What did you notice when you read the Common Core state standards? Be sure to include your name on the post. So as you were reading through the content standards, what did you notice? All right, so that's it for this segment. Enjoy.